All right, welcome back. And this is Breakfast Daily. And hashtag to use this Breakfast Daily on all social media platforms. The WhatsApp line is 0550585832. Now, there's a very unfortunate accident that happened yesterday on the Takoradi Cape Coast Highway. Really, really terrible. We have some updates for you. We want to take a look at the report by our colleague Akusi Enimeche. Let's take a look at this. We'll come back and go into the conversation.
As soon as we heard about the accident, and when we came to meet a truck and a Ford bus in flame. With the support of the Ghana National Fire Service, the fire has been put off, and so far the victims, who are all burnt alive, they've been burnt to death. And so we've been able to remove them, and now we are conveying them into the care truck to the Central Regional Hospital morgue for preservation and autopsy. So far, the account we have gathered is that the Ford bus was coming from Tarkwa to Accra. And then the truck loaded with the stones was also from Cape Coast direction. So when the truck got to Asamasa, this cave, the information was that the tire got burst and it imbalanced the driver, leading to the accident before the two cars caught in fire. And all the passengers on board the Benz bus are now burnt, as I stated earlier on. And so far, the account is that we have 14 people on board.
Right, so that was the unfortunate, incident that happened yesterday. Losing people in this way, very, very sad, and a very difficult occurrence for families and people who probably do not even know, that their family members probably are part of this accident. Very, very unfortunate in there. But the Tarkwa police is also appealing to families, to help identify bodies in this car crash as well. So there's a story on the City Newsroom. Let's just look at this. So the Western Regional Police MTTD Commander, Chief Superintendent Isaac K. Sokpa, is urging persons whose relatives traveled on Tuesday from Tarkwa to Accra and have not arrived at their destinations to contact the Tarkwa station. Now, according to him, it will aid in identifying passengers who boarded a Ford vehicle with registration number GW6628-21, which was involved in a fatal accident. 14 people on board an Accra-bound Ford vehicle from Tarkwa died in a car crash at Asemasa in the Shamar district near the boundary between Western and Central regions. Chief Superintendent Sokpa, who spoke to City News, said, "At the moment, we have been able to establish the identity of the Ford bus, which is GW6628-21. We urge persons whose relatives traveled between the two towns to contact the Tarkwa police station and be very sure which of the buses their relatives boarded. They can as well contact the Central Regional Police MTTD for the needed assistance." So this is it, unfortunately, you have a relative who probably just informed you of traveling, and then this happened. So just in case you've not been able to reach your relatives who were supposed to be traveling, from Tarkwa to Accra, you may want to visit the Tarkwa police station and seek further assistance, and just be sure that they were not part, or they were part, so that the necessary procedures will be followed for you to have your relative. Quite an unfortunate, but it's also a period for us to reiterate the call for discipline on our roads.
Because again, Frema, as it's an accident, and as much as it may appear out of our hands and out of anybody's control in particular, I don't think it's so much out of our hands. For a couple of reasons. I think, first of all, the issue of speed, is very critical. We know that whenever there's a tie blowout, and apparently this one was a case of a tie blowout, a tipper truck, okay, usually does not drive. It's not like a saloon car or you know or a minibus. 4 tires. No, they have multiple tires, right? So the question is that which of the tires, you know, went out, and if it was a front tire, then usually that's maybe that's a difficult thing to maneuver. But if you are driving within speed limits, usually you will have some kind of control over the vehicle. But in this case, it seems that he lost control over the vehicle, veered into the side of the Ford truck, who had actually stopped. He had apparently stopped to give way, you know. So clearly the tipper driver was speeding, you know, and lost control.
So, I mean, when it comes to accidents on our roads, we have quite a number of issues to deal with, you know. Speeding is one, driver fatigue is another issue, and general maintenance of our vehicles, you know.
Lord.
So sometimes you see a vehicle come in and it's actually tilted to one side, and you ask yourself, don't we have police on the road? You know, we have police on our roads, and yet we see certain vehicles, you know, sometimes they're kind of fumes coming from vehicles, exhaust and all these kind of things. We kind of turn a blind eye, and this is human lives that we all can see that, look, people may lose their lives, people may not be able to get to their final destinations, but we just look on as if we just can't be bothered, as if people have 9 lives, you know?
And I don't understand this culture that we've developed. It's become, you know, standard practice. Your roadworthy certificate is almost like, it's like the one that exempts you from all ills, right? So as long as you have a roadworthy certificate, all ills are covered. Meanwhile, the car could be ready for trashing, all right? The car could actually be in the state where
people are driving scrap.
Exactly.
You know, on our streets.
Meanwhile, they have
roadworthy. Yes.
And it's like once you have the
ones.
roadworthy, you can't touch me. I think we need to start doing responsible MTTD policing, where we say, based on the observation that we are making, this vehicle should not be on the road. Then we should also go back and question why it was issued with a roadworthy certificate.
No, we really have to begin to take some of these things seriously, you know.
Why is a
not
vehicle
treat them as
that is creating a plume of black smoke behind the vehicle for all the drivers? 3-4 cars are all engulfed in black smoke. Why does it have a current roadworthy certificate? Why?
This is a problem, you know, and the fact that we have accidents, we record accidents, you know, in large numbers, we come, we talk about it, the next day, that is it, nothing happens, and then people move on. What do we do, you know, to drivers whose negligence, you know, put people's lives at risk? You know, so if they are not dying, you are maiming people for life. These are people, you know, I think we had about 10 males and about 4 females, you know, about this. So look at the number of people who are breadwinners, you know, the people who depend on these people who have lost their lives. What is going to happen to them? Some people's education are going to cut off. The ripple effects, you know, so we just can't sit down and treat it as business, like business as usual. We don't just do this. It's very sad. You know, I was very emotional about this yesterday because how can people just be involved in an accident and be burned, you know, beyond recognition? So you don't even know who is who, you know, and sometimes if you're not careful, we have to just put all these guys together, just bury them, and then that is it. Gone, just like that.
Unacceptable. Why? All right, so we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue the conversation shortly. All right, welcome back. And let's go up to the northern part of Ghana. We're going to Bimbilla, and the Bimbilla Municipal Hospital is in dire need of medical staff. Now, we have a report for you by our colleague, Mohammed Aminu Alabira. Let's take a look at this report. We'll get into the conversation after that.
Bimbilla Government Hospital, located in Bimbilla, the capital of the Nanumba North Municipality, is the major hospital in the Eastern Corridor, serving about 4 districts. Despite the success story of the hospital in the last annual performance review for 2021, where it was adjudged the best performing hospital in the region, it lacks critical medical equipment to facilitate their work. The hospital currently lacks critical machines like the X-ray and anesthetic machines, which plays a major role in healthcare delivery. Aside this, the hospital has only 2 medical doctors, serving a population of almost 10,000 people. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Barhama Adam, tells City News that the situation is affecting healthcare delivery.
We have all the units. Do you understand that? But you can see for yourself. And we need to, give most of the unit. We need to some kind of renovations. Do you understand that? At least to make it look a bit. Most of the structures are old. Okay, the hospital was built in 2004. Okay, and since then there hasn't been any serious major renovation. So you can see that most of the walls need serious attention.
The hospital currently has only 2 medical doctors and 1 anesthetic who is a woman. Records at the hospital shows that they have only 8 midwives who are to contend with delivery not less than 300 mothers in a month. Management of the hospital wants the staff strength to be increased.
Okay, the issue about the anesthetic machine, okay, the doctors, the midwives, the critical staff, the anesthetists, okay, and then the NICU as well.
Bimbilla Hospital receives cases along the Eastern Corridor from Pandai, Ulensi, and Pasa in the Oti region. Interestingly, along the corridor, there is no neonatal intensive care unit, NECO. This is where preterm babies are kept for some time, and this is lacking at the Bimbilla Hospital, which is the major referral facility within the enclave. To add to their woes, a fence wall project started almost 6 years ago by the Municipal Assembly is yet to be completed. They are thus faced with the nuisance of encroachment, among others. Another major challenge is the mortuary facility. Machines at the facility has not been working for about a decade now, and the facility cannot keep dead bodies for more than 24 hours. Despite the condition, Bimbilla residents, who are mostly of Islamic faith, sometimes send dead bodies to the place for easy preparation for burial. Water flow at the place is also a challenge. The in charge at the facility, the mortuary man, popularly called the last doctor, enumerates some of the challenges he faces.
So I had the most major for the Genoma. They don't go some the Pakama human nature and P. Moma. I allow. So for the Genma Tabaga problems when you are Malma to Moma is Ankana. Dam Dinin Casocane, come on, you want Casocane. For the Genma Villa Sobene, Conan Bunaba Villa. I was also highly in the Batsi Nema, when it Bati Canyo, Bosoko Parade. I make I as a one nation. Mpalaku is on no do my pony. A Frigian Maza, the bar, the Yalabum Yinkanya the Bani, Kayinkanye the Banai. Hannes or the shell of Waker. The sort of Tirma, and maybe I name a good chance shall pull apart 2 months uncle be. I allow them, but then Salvatino some people won't be so chamber out there. I allow the Milkuna Potiche, be want to only Chaya Kazaka, but Zaswell and Kuala Bola. The Taman to Mango to Chandania. Tumanga broke my brother at Michelle Lampa, Vega, Tumala with the Bawaker at the Butumda. Come can this uncle Kwame and Galanzayama. Galma, you can turn as a Comna ship to Comcane, and do map on the bottom part of Combane. Comcane, Mamma Banyan Subavan Tapatum Bane.
Is the mortuary fridge, and as you can see, the thing is spoiled. And according to the in charge at the mortuary facility here, that this thing is over 10 years now since it broke down. If anybody or if someone passes away, Yes, this is it. 4 fridge, all have spoiled.
Right, so these and many more are the plights, of the Bimbilla Municipal Hospital. We have on the line Abdullah Yakub. He is the MCE for Bimbilla. Thank you very much. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much, madam.
Right, so what have you gathered, about the state of the Bimbilla Hospital?
Thank you. While I took office as the MCE for the municipality in 2017, I engaged the management of the Bimbilla Hospital to give us a list of their priority projects so that we could incorporate them into our medium-term development plans. They gave us 3 immediate projects that they wanted us to help them fix. And that was a maternity ward, the Bimbilla fence wall, the hospital fence wall, and the mortuary.
Sorry, Honorable, I didn't quite get what was in the middle. So they gave you the maternity ward, and then
maternity ward. The Bimbilla hospital fence wall.
Okay.
The rehabilitation of the mortuary.
Okay.
And then a female ward.
Right.
These projects were incorporated in our medium-term development plan. And in 2018, we put, these projects were about to be awarded.
Okay.
That is the refurbishment of the mortuary. Then the management told us that the most pressing issue then was the building of the maternity ward, which was very, very urgent.
Okay.
The ward was awarded and completed in 2019. Then it was left with the mortuary and the fence ward. And when we were to purchase the equipment for the mortuary, the management told us that we should rather equip the maternity ward with the amount that we were coming to use to buy the fridges for the mortuary. So that was their priority again. So the maternity block was fully equipped with ultrasound machines, delivery beds, and then beds. If you come to Bimbilla Hospital, you will see it's a modern maternity ward. And as I speak to you, the female ward that they requested has been completed. The 30-bed capacity female ward is completed. It's yet to be handed over to the management of the Bimbilla Hospital. When I assumed office, my predecessor, that was the NDC, had done phase 1 and phase 3. It was left with the phase 3 to get it completed. This project was also awarded on contract for the completion of the Bimbilla Hospital Road. And you know that the Eastern Corridor Road is currently under construction and the hospital is closer to the road. So we contacted the engineers of the Eastern Corridor. They told us that we should wait. If you put up the wall now, the road is likely to affect it. So we should wait and they finish constructing the road so that we know exactly where to see the wall. Because it's like some of the buildings in the hospital are coming to be affected by the construction of the road. So we put on hold the construction of the.
But did they tell you? Did they tell you when the road will be completed?
Yes, the road is supposed to be completed this year, according to the engineers.
Okay.
So that is what we have done. And I have worked with Ghana Health Service before being appointed as the administrative executive. I was an accountant for about 13 years with Ghana Health Service. I'm privy to some of the challenges that they face. With the water program on project, they have been facing some challenges. So the member of parliament drilled a borehole for us to mechanize it and pull into the Bimbilla Hospital. That has been done. So the testing of the borehole is supposed to be done so that we see the quantity of water that is in the borehole to see whether we can pull it to the hospital. So these are some of the things that assemblies have done for the Bimbilla hospitals.
Right. So
Generally,
these work were done in between 2017 and 2018. Am I right?
yes, and for the female ward, it's done 2021 and then 2022.
Right. But go on, please.
So what I'm saying, or what I have mentioned, and even we have some of NGOs also made some donations. For instance, I know that some incubators were given to the hospital by some organizations and some other donations. Yeah. So yeah, we know they are facing some challenges, and especially the male and the female wards need rehabilitation. We are visiting the place, and we are also encouraging the Bimbilla hospital to use part of their IDF to do some of the little renovation, while the assembly also carries them.
Well, it looks like what you're talking about is nothing little, you know, because now you've rehabilitated the maternity ward, but you know that the maternity must.
It's not maternity. We have constructed.
Right. So you've constructed the maternity ward. You have equipped it as well, but the maternity ward must work with the NICU. You know, so if the NICU is not functioning properly, then there's a bit of challenge there as well. The maternity cannot even function entirely on its own.
Madam, I have told you that we asked the manager of the hospital to give us their priority project.
No, Honorable.
They didn't add NICU.
Honorable.
I'm a layman. I don't know what NICU is.
Exactly.
Right?
So
give me what you need.
So
giving me what you need without NICU. So how do I know that?
No, if you will let me come in. So the list, you asked for the list in 2017. Now, between 2017 and today, obviously, this is a facility that people use. So there will be developing issues as well. That is what we are bringing to your attention. In 2017, maybe NICU was not that present. But now this is the issue. That is why we are talking about it as well. The mortuary has been on your table since 2017, but you can tell that they have pressing issues every day coming in, and so they kind of had to come back to tell you that, okay, hold on with the mortuary and then equip maybe the maternity. That is understood. But these are the problems that are being raised now. What are the plans? I don't know the last time you personally visited the Bimbilla hospital. So these are the issues they are raising. Right. So what are the plans that you have or that government has for these?
The plans are that we have to come and sit down and they tell us exactly what they need. We know that we are having some financial challenges. And we have to plan. We have to plan a particular thing. We have a lot of challenges in education and other sectors. So that if the partner will know exactly their problem, then we know how to fix them gradually.
Right. So you are going to construct the fence wall, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You had funding for that?
Yes. It was to be done under the DGF.
Right. So now what's going to happen to that funds? Because that fence wall is on hold.
We are going to use the funding to construct a GHS to Gambia community. Because the money cannot be sitting in the account and the site is already finished. So we have used that certificate to construct a 3-unit classroom block and some other things.
But between the hospital and a classroom block, which one is present for the people of Bimbilla now?
Both are present. If you look at the program that we have given the GHS, they travel more than 16 kilometers to access GHS and dinner and tiffin at the province of Mincharatanga. Every time the road is fixed, we look for money to fix to complete the first wall. Another one, it's not a big deal.
But please make us understand properly. This funds was secured in the name of Bimbilla Hospital. So
yes.
If the fence wall is not coming on immediately, wouldn't it be ideal to look at other pressing issues of the hospital? Or that doesn't matter?
We
Sorry, we're not hearing.
Honorable, can you please say that again? The line was a bit muffled there.
I am saying that,
Yeah.
you know, why you are trying to change a project on DDL, you have to get approval from the Minister of Local Government.
Mm-hmm.
We did that. We wrote to him explaining why we think the hospital work cannot be done immediately.
Okay.
And we want the money to be used for the construction of the school book, which was granted. Anytime.
Well, so we've lost the MCE for Bimbilla there. I hope he can get back to us and then we finish our conversation.
Yeah.
But this is it.
Yeah, so I mean, you asked him all the questions that I was thinking about. You know, you have money that's allocated for the hospital. Yes, it's allocated for the hospital wall. But if it's not going to be used for the wall, there are other needs within the hospital, you know, and you're far behind in terms of fixing all the challenges at the hospital. So it's a bit challenging.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming back, Honorable.
I want to assure the new people that if it's completed, I can assure you that that particular year, and it is a year, and they are saying that the road will be completed, the project of the wall will also commence. That's the assurance of me.
Right. Honorable, you mentioned that you visited the Bimbilla Hospital not long ago. Am I correct?
Yesterday, I was there.
Yesterday. What is your own assessment? I mean, when you went there, what did you see? Were you happy with what you saw? What do you think about that?
I cannot be happy because, as I mentioned to you, the female ward, the male ward, and the surgical ward are not in good shape. The thank God as for the female ward, very soon they will be moving into a new building, full equipped. So we'll have the male ward and the surgical ward to do some renovation. And to become leaders, the community, and some of them are willing to privately come and support the hospital.
Honorable, do we have timelines for these?
Well, I know last year somebody, an individual came and took one of the walls and did some renovation and then did some wiring and then supply of funds. They were a private individual. So I also encourage some of our leadership and they are taking steps to come and do some renovation in the hospital. And if you look, it's not only the hospital, but if you look at some of the properties, they are also in very bad shape. So we are looking at all this critically to see how best we can fix the problem.
Honorable, you said that individuals have come in to support, but in terms of your plans as an assembly, what are the timelines you have for completing these projects?
You know, the timelines that I have told you that for the it's available.
Sorry, we're not hearing you very well.
I am saying that I have told you that the hospital first funds that is available. It is available anytime that we want to start. Now, I want to tell you that we have 30 beds of hospital maternity feeling ward with the hospital movement anytime soon. Probably by next week or next 2 weeks.
All right,
so
okay.
That the female ward will relocate to the new building so that relocation can start anytime they want to take something.
Honorable Abdullah Yakub, thank you very much for your time this morning. All right.
Thank you.
Breakfast Daily. So take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. The show is interactive. Hashtag Breakfast Daily. WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. Of course, on social media, hashtag Heritage Month on City as well. Now, the deadline for the SIM card re-registration has been extended. Now, a very unfortunate, happenings over the last couple of days, where there was a stampede at the NIA office because everybody's trying to get a Ghana card in order to go and get their registration done, and all of that. So we have a report for you. Let's take a look at this report, and then we'll get into the conversation.
The stampede occurred at the entrance of the office of the NIA in Accra when hundreds of desperate applicants attempted to forcefully gain access to the premises in order to either register or collect their ID cards. The Corporate Affairs Officer, Henry Myers Abuaje, confirmed the news to City News, but noted that the high number of people was due to the deadline of the SIM card re-registration exercise.
The crowd is multiplying by the hour. It's been like this for the last few days. We attribute it to the approaching deadline of the SIM card registration. We are overwhelmed, and under the circumstances we find ourselves in terms of personnel and equipment, we are doing our best. We have space issue here, so that's why we opened the Accra Sports Stadium so that a chunk of the crowd can go there. But the people you find here, most of them are those who are doing updates on their cards and those who are doing card replacement. The people you see behind you, if you turn around, are all those who have lost their cards. We have issued cards to them, but they have lost their cards and are replacing their cards. When I got in here, I was told, but I don't have the details, but I was told that there was some near stampede at the gates when the gates were opened. We have appealed to the public that when they get to the gate, it's just join the queue.
Hundreds of Ghanaians are racing against time to obtain their national ID cards and proceed to either register their SIM cards or to meet some obligations that require the Ghana card. When City News visited the NIA's headquarters, applicants were seen in clusters depending on their service request, but the process was relatively slow, causing a lot of congestion. Some applicants expressed frustration at the process, especially with delays in correcting errors on their cards.
They should make it in a way that wherever you register, you do your card. When there's a problem with your card, for instance, I changed my name. I've gone to affidavits and gazetting to do a new document. And then they said because of my date of birth, it's 80. Instead of 80, I did it 82. So I had to come here. I was here yesterday, the crowd was unbearable. I had to go back.
Well, there you have it. Sometimes I wonder, though, Firma, some of the decisions that we take. Of course, a lot of things require, budgetary allocations and so on. And so, if you don't have the money to get certain things done in a certain way, it may seem like your hands are tied. But in this situation, not everybody there is there for a new registration. Some of them are there to collect their cards. Yeah. Because they've already received messages that their cards are ready, right? So what I'm asking is that why don't we do practical things like diffuse the situation? Let at least anybody whose card has already been done publicize the names. Do you understand? Say these names, your cards are ready. Yeah. From this number to this number, go to X point. Right? So, for example, go to, let's say, this municipal assembly, or go to this bank, or go to this place, because there are facilities that already exist, right? It doesn't take any money to say, set up a desk outside of this building and keep all these cards here. It's planning and arrangement.
For me, I agree with you. It is planning and arrangement, but sometimes too, I just feel that those of us giving the cards, those of us going to take the cards, we all believe in last-minute approach to everything, So people, because sometimes when you go, you realize that officers in charge of these kind of distribution of cards, in charge of the registration, do not have any kind of sense of urgency.
No, they don't.
People are just taking their time to do whatever they want to do. Others are also sitting at home waiting that, okay, so the deadline is 31st of March. So we'll go on 30th. Maybe around 20th, thereabout. Yeah. And everybody is thinking same. Yeah. So around 20th, we are all going. Yeah. And I also agree with you that it's not enough, because almost everybody has a mobile phone they would want to re-register, and we all need a Ghana card, to be able to do this. So if we don't have enough centers, these are some of the issues that we are going to be facing, and the fact that the process is not entirely that swift.
I thought they had a premium center at Elwak. What happened to that?
I don't know.
So everybody is going to the NIA
But at
officers.
least, you know, the good news is there's an extension. You know, the deadline has been extended.
Yeah.
And just as we are hearing that the deadline has been extended, I hope we are also not just going home and wait till another 20th July, you know, to go back and then do the quickly. At a point, you know, even with the SIM card registration, I was just telling myself that, look, I'm just not going to stress myself because that process too is a bit cumbersome, you know, not too smooth. And I'm just not going to stress myself with trying to register the card. If by 31st March I've not been able to register because my number that is very popular, what I use, that I've been able to do it, but I wanted to actually register. I have a couple of SIMs for, don't ask me why, other reasons, you know.
But you can have a router, you can have, you know, different things.
Whatever I'm even using it for is nobody's business, you know. But I mean, it takes a whole longer period to be able to do this, you know. So I think it's very ideal that there is an extension. So you may want to take the statement.
Yeah, so it says here, press release, extension of deadline for the SIM registration. This is coming from Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. Now, it says the SIM card registration exercise began on 1st of October 2021 and is expected to end on the 31st of March 2022 as at 17th of March 91,542. That's 14,091,542 SIM cards have been linked to the Ghana card. There have been 10,348,532 bio captures conducted and 99,445 new SIM cards registered. Okay, so due to a number of factors, including the fact that over 7.5 million citizens and residents are yet to obtain the Ghana card to enable them to register their SIM cards, it is clear the deadline will not be met. Okay, so they've extended it and it's going all the way to the 31st of July.
Very welcoming news, but all I can say is don't wait till 20th July. Still go ahead, get it done. You can do so in a very comfortable way. You know, you don't have to just go and rush around and join long queues. You can still do it. So now we have about 3 months to be able to, well, you know, let's just give ourselves some 3 months. You know,
you don't want to get into July.
You have the whole 90 days and more to do this. So don't just wait for last minute, right? So this is it.
We'll take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.